Welcome back to another episode of the Set It Podcast. I'm your host, Zach Hayes, joined as always here in the studio with my co-host, Zach Clark. We've got a special episode today coming up with our first guest on the Set It Podcast. That's coming up in a little bit for you guys. But first, right off the bat, we're going to give some updates on our existing goals that we've set out. You guys have been following along with us the last couple weeks. Zach, I'm going to start you off right now. The weight loss, the walking goal, how is this going for you so far?
So this time around, I did make it 6 out of 7 days in.
Can we get a little
thank you, a little golf
That's
clap.
a big deal. You did it. I'm proud of you.
So now it's about continuing that. I will say the weight isn't coming off as fast as I would like it to. But you and I talked about this the other day off camera, off mic, that, the walking is good, and I've been more conscious about my diet or more conscientious about the choices that I make. But at the same time, like it's probably still not enough to see, I don't want to say drastic weight loss, but to see really marked progress, right? Like I'm probably down like 2, 3, 4 pounds, but we're 2 weeks into it and I've got, whatever amount of days left to get down like another, 7 or 8. I mean, that's...
You said that. You said that going into it. You knew that there was going to have to be something more to it. There was going to have to be, you're still having the same diet. You talked about your coffee routine though.
So I think
scaling back on that a little bit.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like I need to pull back. I need to drop something, right? Like, and again, I think that I've been making better food choices, and one of the big ones is bringing like a salad with me to work. Otherwise, because I get off oftentimes at 12:30, I'll end up in some scary Taco Bell, McDonald's. Because what else are you going to do?
Desperate, you need to.
Well, I'm not going to bang
outside the bun.
I'm not going to bang around in the kitchen when I get home. It's late. I've got everybody else is sleeping, right? Like I'm not trying to
something fast too. I mean, it's on the way. It's convenient. That's what's kind of been the rise of that fast food mentality.
But if I can eat while I'm working, even if it's just small little things here and there, I can get home and then figure it out from there. So again, I made some changes, but it's something that's got to give. And so I think I've got to give up either something like the coffee creamer, or again I've got to make another change. But I'm satisfied so far with. I'm not satisfied with the progress, but I'm satisfied that I've been able to, on the last 14 days.
You're keeping it up.
I've walked 11 times, and
that's a lot. That's a lot. And
so now it's just I need to level up and really hunker down and make a big change.
It's not easy, and I'm with you on that routine. We talked about that challenge where I was going to do the Peloton bike, and I've been able to stay on that. I think this morning was my 16th day on the bike. I'm feeling good there, but I second that as far as like the pounds coming off, because I'm not only doing these intense workouts, I've scaled back on the drinking. I'm a little more conscious about what I'm eating, and those pounds aren't just like melting away. It's not an easy fix, and if you're expecting this real quick result, you're going to get discouraged. So I've kind of tried to put the scale out of my mind.
Well, I was thinking about that too. Like I think maybe the weight, maybe the weight's not what we're after.
It's the
end result.
It's the reward for the hard work, but it shouldn't be. It should be about how you feel at the end of the day. Take all that out of the equation, and I think maybe we'll do a little weigh-in, and we'll put that out on our social page. We won't do it during this podcast, but we'll put out we'll give you guys a little update on that later here in the week.
But speaking of updates, so you've been
my meditation.
Yeah, so I got to ask. You posted a picture the other day, and I noticed at your house, and I noticed you had like a space.
I did.
There was like a salt lamp and like pillows and like a blanket.
Very zen is what I was going for.
But it sounds like it only looked like that.
Best intentions on my end. So
it looked great. Let me just tell you,
the podcast originally
looked
said,
great.
I'm going to give myself a dedicated space at home to do this. And what was this nice, relaxing space in theory? It was still at home where my kids are. And, no matter what time I tried to start this routine at, it was being interrupted. And if you're in that headspace of complete silence, the second you hear, Dad, and they come wandering down the stairs, it's over at that point.
No door can stop a child.
It's over at that point. So what was the space completely turned into me setting it up here at our shop where I could sit in a chair alone, lock the doors, and be guaranteed I would not be interrupted. So that routine started for me on Monday.
Nobody's coming down here.
No. The doors are locked. It's me and the spirits of this downtown Romeo building. But I think that for me was really important that I had to make this setup foolproof. To where it was,
you had to learn.
I had to learn, and I lost a few days out of it because of that. So, but I've been consistent.
I think that was
Monday,
worth
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday so far.
You didn't lose them. You didn't lose them. You had to get to that point. Again, if these were things that we could just pick up and do, they wouldn't be challenges.
Exactly.
You said there's a guy that invented this, right? You're not asking him to do it. Hey, Yogi, I've got a challenge for you. Do that thing you do all the time and just keep doing that.
And Zach, it's a learning process too. Like, this is not something that's second nature to me. So I had to figure out what's going to work and what's not going to work. It's the same thing with the bike schedule. It's the same thing with any of the goals we set out to do. It's what works for you. It's got to be something that works for you and fits in with your lifestyle.
And you can't know what that is immediately.
And I'll tell you what, there are, and I'm going to be posting that blog this week on 32andmain.com that will go into detail about kind of what I'm experiencing through these first 5 days, if I get to it today, which I plan on doing. You'll have time. So I'll keep you guys updated on that end too, because I think that's going to be, it's interesting. It really is. I'm not just saying that to blow smoke. Every day's a little bit different, and it's amazing how quickly things change.
We're on the path.
It feels good. I like it.
Yeah, no, it is. It's nice, and I think the meditation thing for you is great. You've got to give yourself. I was thinking about that. The schedule you talked about, and just and it's different, right? You guys are doing different things. You have different projects going on, but just like the monotony of like, you always know what's coming next, and to be able to just kind of shut that off is,
it's interesting. So follow along. I'm going to keep you guys posted on this. But coming up next, we're going to have Ken Hirschmann from Best Life & Co. And we're going to talk to him about some of his goals and, a new voice for the podcast.
Yeah, it's somebody that is going to take their own challenge, and we'll talk to Ken now, and then we'll be able to follow up with him later. So let's get down to it.
And as promised, we have our special guest in the studio today, Mr. Ken Hirschmann from Best Life & Co. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience?
Cool. Ken Hirschmann, Romeo grad, so nice to be back here. I live in Royal Oak, so I'm not back here too often, but I'm the team leader, team owner of Best Life & Company. We're a real estate team, and we've been doing it about 3 years, so...
But you've been in the business a lot longer than 3 years.
Been in the business a lot longer, yeah. Man, it flies. 6.5 years already, so July of 2014. And, I quit my corporate job and just got into real estate cold turkey just because I thought it'd be fun and kind of the thrill of helping people and, the sales life and 100% commissions and all that good stuff. That was, most people thought I was crazy, but it was fun. And usually when people think I'm crazy, that's what I jump into. So 7 years later, here I am.
So then what's the last thing somebody said that's crazy about that you're doing?
About real estate?
No, but you said that like when people think you're crazy, you're onto something. So when's the last time somebody said you were crazy?
Last time someone said I was crazy.
Your wife this morning?
That doesn't count. Yeah. That doesn't count.
That's how I usually
that's my alarm. That's my alarm.
When I work out at 6 a.m. and I wake up on a Saturday, that's probably the closest thing.
So you know how this podcast works. We've kind of explained it a little bit. Zach and I have been out setting our goals, and as a business owner, you're always going to be setting goals constantly.
Yep.
But on this podcast, we want to look at one specific thing that Ken Hirschmann wants to accomplish with Best Life & Co. for 2021. 2020 was an odd year. I know you said it was good for real estate, but for everybody else, 2020 was an odd year. So we're
Yep.
trying to make 2021 the best year possible.
I like it.
What is your goal?
Yeah. First of all, I'm so glad we're talking about a goal business related. I thought you were going to make me work out like 4 or 5 days a week or something.
It's about what's good for you, Ken.
No,
it's
I
not
know.
about what's good for us. It's about what's good for you. So
Yeah. So yeah, 2020, I mean, weird year for everyone. I was telling you on the phone, thankfully I just happened to be in an industry that outside of the 6-week stay-at-home order, back in the spring, real estate really was crazy.
Unscathed.
Yeah, it was crazy. And you can go see houses, and I mean, it's usually it's you and the buyer. So it's very like low contact, right? So it really didn't affect the industry. We got really, really lucky. But, this year we've been talking about it for, a long time, but as you know, it starts with a vision, but the hardest thing is to like implement or execute it, right? That's where a lot of people, it kind of goes by the wayside.
we all have ideas.
Yeah, everybody has ideas. So our slogan is Beyond Real Estate. So when I came up with that 3-4 years ago, I just thought that the way I was going to run my business, a lot of my buyers, sellers, people I work with, they're friends, family, clients become friends, clients become family. So I'm like, oh, it's Beyond Real Estate. It's not just about the sale. Obviously, that's why we do it initially, but then after the fact, it's more than that, right? It's not like
It's a relationship.
Yeah, it's not close the deal and forget about them. So with that in mind, we thought this year that we were setting a goal to raise $20,000 collectively between our real estate team and our real estate family together, based on what we call our Best Life Courage Award. So every month we have a Best Life Beyond Real Estate Courage Award. This month was one of my close clients turned friends, Jen Cullen. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to highlight one of our close clients that's going through something that most people don't know about. Could be a personal situation, could be a health situation, could be a condition, could be something that they've maybe always had or maybe they're working through, and just bring awareness to that topic. And it kind of dawned on me. My wife and I actually went through a couple personal things. We have a 1-year-old son, and we had to go through IVF, and that's kind of personal, but at the same time, it's personal. Yet when we went through it, it wasn't that personal or secretive, rather, after the fact, because I wanted to share it a little bit with people to know that like there's more people going through this and we're one of them and it's okay and all those things. So
it's hard to say it initially.
It is.
It's always hard that first moment when you break out and are very honest with an audience because you don't know how receptive they are going to be to what you're putting out there. And I think that's kind of what Zach and I looked at when we were doing this podcast.
That's the cornerstone of this podcast is that no matter what you're going through, if it's IVF, if you're trying to find a more mental center, if you're trying to lose weight, no matter what it is, if you're trying to mend your financials, there's always somebody that is going through it right now, that has gone through it, and that is looking for a reason to just make that leap. And so when collectively you come together, you realize that there's all kinds of people out there that can help you, that can offer support, that you can offer support to. And so I think it's great. And you said it earlier that the beginning is the most difficult, just saying it, just moving forward. But once you do, I think, as you said, you find that there's usually a lot more people in the same boat as you are, and it's surprising.
Yeah, for sure. And I think a lot of people they like need that first person to make that post or be a little bit vulnerable or whatever. Like
somebody's got to go first.
Someone's got to go first. The second, the third, it's okay. But so and that was the case for us too, because we were grinding through the process, and then we realized like, wow, the second we started letting people know, not that we were shouting from the mountaintops, but obviously you talk and, I think it's okay to talk about what you're going through. But at the same time, the second we did that, like I felt like 1 out of 5 of our friends had something similar. And you're like, that's crazy that many people are going through it. It's not that uncommon. The more you talk about it, obviously my wife felt better. I felt better. We felt like we weren't just an anomaly and
something you were doing wrong, something that was your defect. It was the defect of or the issue of many.
Yeah. And that's the power of community and having an army, right?
Correct.
Yeah. And you're kind of breeding an environment of positivity too, because those people are giving you that positive vibe back into your life, and you feel good because you don't feel as alone anymore. You don't feel as isolated in those situations. So going through it together with other people, we've always said on this podcast, telling people about your goal is going to help you stick to it. There's that feeling of, I don't want to let other people down because I want to stay on top of my game so that they can, so I can share that along with them. It feels good to accomplish things, and it just sets you in this positive trajectory moving forward. But I want to know why Jen? Why, this is the first one, you're rolling this out. It's obviously something that's very important to you guys beyond real estate, beyond the day-to-day. This is obviously somebody who is very deserving of the award.
And how do you going forward, like, perpetuate and keep giving that out?
Exactly. Yeah. So last, on our team, we have about 12 real estate agents, team members, right? So last year we started a culture award, and it's chosen by our team members. So every month, all 12 of us vote for who on our team wins that monthly culture award. And last year, the winner of the culture award, the company donated some money towards their real estate business or towards social media marketing or some Best Life swag from FAMS, of course, something like that, right? This year we transitioned. We said, okay, is it more important to give someone $250 a month to like buy something for their business, or can they build their business anyway? This year we've transitioned. The winner of the Team Culture Award, they get the power of choice to choose one of their own close clients for the Best Life Beyond Real Estate Courage Award.
Gotcha.
So I kind of kicked it off for January just to kind of get it rolling, but moving forward. So for January, Dave Thomas, he is our top agent, and he won the Culture Award. For January, he gets to choose the February Beyond Real Estate Courage Award.
Gotcha. So you pick Jen. That was your
Okay. So moving forward, that's it in 2021. Now I picked Jen, and honestly, she made a post right around mid-November, because November, I believe, is Type 1 Diabetes Awareness Month.
Okay.
And when I made my post back in the spring, it was because it was IVF Awareness Month, right? So she made the post. I went to college with Jen and her husband, Brad, and they bought and sold a couple houses with me and whatnot, and I had no idea. So she makes this post, and I realized that she has Type 1 juvenile diabetes. She had it since she was 5 years old. We became, again, an example of Beyond Real Estate. Clients turn friends. I mean, they've met my wife. We've gone out socially. I consider them friends now, right? Not even clients, just friends. And just reading her post and seeing kind of what she's been through, and you would just never know. You talk about like perseverance and then just the grind and just like embracing it and not using it as an excuse. And obviously we're all business people, and that's stuff that we love. It's just people not having excuses. That's a pretty big one, and she still hasn't let that affect her at all. So she made that post, and I'm just like, she's got to be the first one. It just made sense.
And what does receiving this award, the Beyond Real Estate Courage Award, what does that look like for Jen? What does she receive as this? You guys put this out on social. What's the background on that as far as moving forward?
Yeah. So, I think the biggest thing is just, awareness, and just when so her and I had a phone call, last week, a couple of weeks ago, and, we literally talked about her situation for probably about an hour. And I think that alone was powerful enough just between her and I, for her to know that like we care about that and we want to bring awareness to it. And I think awareness is a powerful thing.
Absolutely.
But tangibly, every closing that Best Life does in January, we donate a certain amount of money to the foundation or organization of Jen's choice.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And then in addition, obviously we posted on social media with links to where to donate and stuff like that. Now, the one thing that we're going to tweak and we haven't done yet is, I think moving forward, we're going to come up with some sort of donation page where outsiders can donate to us, and then we make one, they can contribute as well. And then we make one big donation between us and our outside family community so that we can track donations. Because like I said, our goal is $20,000, and I think it'd be really, really cool to kind of track how much as a community we're helping.
Absolutely.
I guess,
and that's a big number
heroes.
too. Yep. It reminds me of like the Barstool Fund that they set up for businesses that are struggling right now. This is a great way to bring awareness to what people are going through, as well as what you guys are doing as a company to live up to that Beyond Real Estate moniker. I mean, that's not, it sounds like it's not just, you hear a lot of times where there's just these slogans or these pitches that people do, but it sounds like it really, you guys really take that seriously and live up to that.
It's funny how, and I can't say that we wouldn't have done this year if I didn't go through something. And,
One thing leads to another.
A lot of people go through IVF. My point is sometimes it takes a personal situation that you have to grind through to like kind of have that aha moment, right? So we had it, and that made me just think about things a little differently. And then that, coupled with Jen's post, I'm like, we have to do something. And then obviously 2020 was just a weird year. So I think kind of spreading awareness and positivity and getting more community is a big deal right now.
I mean, you don't know until you know. I think if you look at a lot of charities, and this isn't a bad thing, but so many of them were sprung from tough situations, right? It's somebody went through something, and the hope is that people down the road won't go through it ever again. I mean, when I think of, you think of like the Chad Tuff Foundation. I mean, it's just what happened to that little boy is so horrible, right? But again, out of that comes something so powerful. The V Foundation with the ESPN, right? I mean, again, coming from tough situations, I think that it does take something happening to somebody for people to realize we're so busy every day. We have so many different things going on. It takes something to make everything stop for a second. And so I think that it probably was because you went through something. Otherwise, why would you have stopped to think about anybody? Again, life happens so quickly.
Yep. And so here on the Set It podcast, we don't just talk about our goals. We track them as well. Mm-hmm. We stay with you along this journey because we want to keep our audience updated. And as you track those benchmarks, because I know a lot of times too, we all get started in things, and all of a sudden by the third or fourth month, it's like you're overwhelmed by work, or something comes up that takes your eye off the prize, and all of a sudden you start to kind of lose focus on why you started it in the first place. Mm-hmm. But for our audience, how can they follow you along the way through this so they can stay updated along with us here at the Set It podcast?
First of all, you're going to have to invite me back and check on me.
Absolutely.
Second of all, I mean, and you guys had mentioned it, I call it social accountability. Like the reason why you talk about it and tell your friends and post on social media, part of it for me is because I like the pressure of everybody else knowing, because it makes me dialed in a little bit more.
Of course.
Right? And I think it's going to be the same for our team. So you can follow us. My Instagram's Ken Hirschmann Realtor. My personal Facebook, Ken Hirschmann, and then our team Instagram and Facebook is Best Life in Company. And we're going to be doing periodic posts with updates and tracking and all that good stuff. So really, you follow us on social, you'll know what's going on.
So I think we check in with Ken quarterly and see,
that sounds like a good idea.
And see where they are.
Can I come in the afternoon so we can pull from the beverage cart over there?
Absolutely. It's off camera. It's off camera right now, but yes, there's a nice little whiskey collection back there, and I will be happy to share with you. But
that's the next goal.
Ken, I want to thank you for joining us here on the Set It podcast. And as always, you guys can find us at 32andmain.com or wherever you get your podcast.
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Twitter, everywhere. We're like Kenny. We're all over the place. But if you guys have a goal that you want to set and share on our podcast, just reach out to us. We'd be happy to get you on here because accountability is everything, and we're here to support it. So we'll be back next week in your feed, 32andmain.com, Set It podcast. Thanks for listening, guys.